I would absolutely love
You thrive in a sports radio show?
it. I would love it. Yeah.
I mean, what about
it's essentially what we do basically now.
Yeah.
We do a daily show for a half hour.
But with way more like this voice.
Dude, I will sell out in a second. What's the check?
No problem at all. Welcome to 98.7 AM. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I like that you're not setting the bar too high and you're sticking to AM.
Of course, yeah. Grimy, dude, you can smoke weed in those studios.
Is that true? That's,
No, I don't
that's a
know.
written fact.
I have no idea.
So yeah, what's up, Clipper Nation? Thank you for listening to the Clipset podcast. I am Brian Cullen,
I'm Joseph Ryward.
and we are joined by two very exciting guests.
Hi, I'm Charles Mockler.
Hey, I'm William Updyke.
These guys are the co-hosts of the Lockdown Clippers podcast. Thank you guys for coming on.
Thanks
Hey,
for having
thanks
us
for
in
having
your
us.
lovely home.
Why did you point at him so aggressively?
Because I was in the sports talk radio mindset,
Okay. All right.
and pointing is great for audio formats.
Yeah, we use a lot of hand motions on our show.
So yeah, we just got out of the Clippers versus Timberwolves game.
Yep.
Before we get to that one, we haven't done an episode since last weekend. So the Kings game.
Ugh.
Let's talk
Oh,
about
we
that.
have to talk about that?
Yeah,
Oh my
let's talk
God.
about that.
Okay,
debtor
what do you
for a
guys want to
second.
talk about?
That was a rough one. I feel like with a lot of these tough losses, just shitty games that have come out against sub 500 teams, there's always a pretty understandable excuse for it or something. I felt like this one was somewhat inexcusable. Not to say that it's like time to
don't know.
panic,
Yeah, bro.
but
No, I felt the same way. This was like the first time where it's like, dude, I'm tired.
Inexcusable,
I'm
though?
tired of saying the same stuff. Like, I'm tired of making the same excuses. Like, at some point, we have to like have the depth to like step up in these
But
games.
Kawhi-
They shot 50% from the floor. We had a Kawhi late scratch. There's the most intense
They had an
sentimental
outlier
thing in the
like
history of
3-point
Staples.
game. So
I mean, a lot of those were contested.
I
But
don't know about inexcusable. Like it was a terrible. Like it was a rough loss.
it was a bad
like
game.
it was. She was shitty, but I don't know.
yeah, I guess it's not one of those ones where I'm like, well, like on to the next. Like that was one that was like a little concerning in some way.
There was just no oomph
Yeah.
from the team at all. That
Right.
was my biggest take. Is like no one. Which I mean, I can't. I don't know what was going on
I think
in those guys' heads. But
I think what happens with us this year sometimes is kind of like what's happened to LeBron teams in the past, particularly in Cleveland, or even with like Russell Westbrook. I think a more apt thing is like Russell Westbrook in Oklahoma City the last few years. When Russ wasn't playing and wasn't like force feeding everybody, no one knew what to do because he was the whole system. Kawhi's absolutely been our whole system for the last like 8 to 10 games. And with Paul George being hurt
yeah,
and not being able to like do even 60% of that.
Right.
and
we
on
had-
a minutes restriction that Doc was actually following,
Yeah.
which I was impressed
That's
by.
fair,
Yeah.
but like, is that lack of system outside of your superstar a concern?
No.
You're
This-
not worried about that at all?
Kind.
No.
I mean, I am, but there's also not going to be a lot of negative 1 second before the ball's tipped off scratches.
Right.
Like the
Well,
jarringness
fair.
of that is
Hopefully.
like that, like because everyone was like, "What the? Okay, so he's just not playing in this game." Like that was the
Right.
latest scratch in the history of the NBA. I feel.
Am I,
Yeah,
am I the
yeah,
only person
yeah.
who cares about pack div play?
Yeah,
All right,
yeah, you are.
The division means something.
Yeah, I mean, I guess inexcusable is the wrong way to say it, but it was just kind of one where
Same trends.
It's just like I don't know. Like, how many times do we have to like say the same things? Like, yeah,
Right.
but he was out, and I mean, I don't know. Theoretically, aren't we supposed to have the pieces to be?
and that well, that's
I
the
don't
thing
know.
is like even with a Kawhi scratch, I feel like the bodies on the floor should have been enough.
And
beat
it's not
the
like the
Kings.
Kings
Yeah.
weren't without people either,
Well, yeah, they were missing Marvin Bagley.
and Rashawn Holmes.
Yeah, they were missing their top 2 rebounders. Which
I just think
doesn't make
it
that
comes
clear.
down to, we struggle without our big superstars, A, because we haven't played together other than the Lakers.
Yeah, no one's really played together.
Yeah, exactly. And then there hasn't been practice time, all that other stuff that we've talked about ad nauseum. But also, if a team's going to come out and drop, 40 points in the second quarter because they can't miss from 3, and then they continue to not miss from 3 for the rest of the game, I'm not going to sit there and piss my pants over the fact that we lost to one team in January.
But like
well,
shooting 50% from 3, like that's not a reason for us to score 14 points in a quarter.
No, that
Well,
was
I-
garbage. There was
yeah,
a
that was
41
gross.
to
No,
10
no,
run.
they
Like,
rolled
there was
over.
a bunch of bad for sure.
Right.
But it's like,
again,
we
you're
won
right.
today. So I also say this as we won today. What are we like? 14-1 after a loss or something like that?
Yes.
Or like
Yeah.
13, whatever it is.
Mhm. 14-1.
So I'm like, yeah, it looked way better today. Paul George looked phenomenal, like much better today.
Yeah.
Also, Doc keeps talking about this Landry Shamet minutes restriction that does not exist. I don't know why he's talking about it.
Hold on. He was limited to 33 minutes.
He played the. Doc said that there was a minutes restriction for Shamet because of his back, is what he said. He played the most minutes of any Clipper today.
Well, it was really weird
There's
because
no restriction.
when he said it in the post game on Thursday, I feel like we all kind of looked at each other, and it was almost like, oh, maybe he just misspoke. And then somebody asked him today, and they were like, so what's up with Shamet and the limit?
He was like,
his back, and
we
then
were like,
moved
what?
on.
Like,
Yeah.
that's a big issue. For
But he
this
said it
team.
really quick, and then was just like, next question. Like it was almost, I don't know. That was kind of strange. But I want to get back to something you said, Joseph. You said it wouldn't make you piss your pants. What is it that will make you piss your pants?
If we lose 6 in a row and it all looks awful, like I'm only going to start to get
I can't argue
worried
with that.
if well, no, but like I'm only going to worry if we totally and completely fall apart against good teams over and over and over again. My supreme confidence comes from the fact that we have Kawhi Leonard, who is maybe the best player in basketball. And we've seen against a very good team that is in the same city, him just take over a game. And we've seen him take over games over and over again. So I'm not going to be worried until it's, later in the season and we've played together and we still look like shit.
So is being 1-2 against Houston, 1-2 against Utah, is that just not taking the first half seriously?
And it's also the fact that we played Houston with only one of our stars one time at the beginning when we were struck. There's all these qualifiers to where I'm not going to worry until it's the playoffs because our stars aren't worried until it's the playoffs.
I mean, we talked about it last time where you were like, it's right around the corner, those
Right.
playoffs. And so getting
I
that
need,
system in place and the on-court chemistry,
yeah.
it's the urgency is starting to kind of show up on getting this team in rhythm, right? Like, is that
I guess that's what concerns me is that like I'm not worried about the top, like,
Right.
I'm not
Totally.
worried. We have 4 guys that I'm not worried about.
Okay.
But like, like they can't play 48 minutes.
So your 4 is like obviously PG, Kawhi, Lou, and Jerome.
Yes, I mean, of
God.
course.
I yelled at him in the Kings game. I yelled at him
Do
from
you
my
think
seat.
with you kind of talked about consistency a little bit just
Mhm.
there. The trade deadline is, less than a week away. Which
Yeah.
feels crazy.
That's
I think there's probably going to be a move. I think I said on our podcast, and I have an 85% feeling there's going to be a move. That is not full disclosure. That's not a scoop in any way. That's just where my head's at.
So you guys heard it here first.
yeah,
Charles Mockler
yeah,
said there will
from-
definitely
yeah.
be a
Scoops
move.
Larry's in
Charles
our
with the
ear.
breaking news.
Larry
Yeah.
is in our ear
Yeah.
constantly.
But so that is going to mess
just
with
whispering
continuity.
sweet nothing.
That's just adding rollover minutes to this continuity issue that we have. It's just adding another. It's just making the continuity issue worse. I'm not
Mhm.
saying that we shouldn't do a trade, but like, there's probably going to be one. I don't think it's going to be like a giant splash or something, but it's still going to move
Right.
pieces, which is going to set us back in that continuity issue even more.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is so frustrating. It's like such a catch-22 with what's
Right.
coming up.
I think sort of as an addendum, I'm going to start to get worried if we in the middle of March still haven't had more than like 10 games together. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Where everybody's going around.
Definitely.
Everybody's healthy. So if this continues and like PG's hamstring keeps going or God forbid something happens to Kawhi or like anything like that, then I'm going to start to get worried.
Right. Like if the back issue becomes a real thing,
But we're still 34-15.
Part
which
of
is
me
good.
also
Tied for
thinks-
second.
Part of me also thinks the back issue was maybe not a thing. I think it was maybe an emotional thing.
Okay.
Doesn't that feel kind of weird that they would like cover that up? Like,
No,
It does because I think that they would be. I actually do just think that they'd be forthright, like for
he just
per-
might
would
have
just
asked.
be for
I don't
personal
know.
reasons.
If he asked,
Melo sat out because he said it was too soon for him to come back.
yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying some people might not say it.
And even people who criticize Kawhi wouldn't in
That's
that.
fair. And what was
like,
on his
in
shoes
that
today?
Scenario.
What?
What was on his shoes today?
Oh yeah, it's the top of his new shoes say no emotion, but then the other side says is enough. But I only saw the first one. I was like, damn, dude, his shit really just says no emotion. Like that's
Which
crazy.
is somehow more fitting
Yeah,
than saying
absolutely.
that second half of it.
Yeah.
On to the piss your pants thing. When was the last time you pissed your pants, Joseph?
Probably recently. Not like a full piss, but like a little piss.
Enough to know you pissed yourself.
Yeah. A little piss has definitely happened for sure.
Damn.
Frankly,
Will, Charles, you guys want to?
I haven't full on it in a while, but there are like
I
I haven't gone all out. I haven't really had a day to myself and just
Yeah, I was
pissed my
gonna
pants, just settled in. And
You've
I've
been real
hashtag
busy.
fold on it.
But I do frequently text Charles when we're on the bus. We don't sit next to each other, and I'll be like, "Yo, dude, I got to get off right now, or I'm gonna piss."
I've been there. I've been there.
I mean, it's been a really long time because I don't know.
You need to step your
I'm
hydration
sensing a
game
lot
up,
of
bro.
judgment
That's the
here.
answer I got.
Yeah,
Well,
you do need to step your hydration.
I still
game up.
hydrate. There's just the other part of the equation that you can just take care. You just go to the bathroom.
White Claw's not hydrating, bro.
Bro, if I could drink White Claw at work, trust me, I would. But because I don't smoke cigarettes, so that's how I get breaks. You
Okay.
just drink a bunch of water. You work
Word.
out that cigarette.
But you still do it outside in the alleyway.
Absolutely, yeah. Same
By the
spot.
dumpster.
Yeah. I need to get some air, and then I go piss all over the loading dock.
All right, so that concludes the pissing our pants and Kings section.
Segment, yeah.
Which the Clippers kind of did against the Kings, so that works.
Yeah,
one
fair
quick
enough.
thing. You
Yeah.
said struggles against below 500 teams. We are 22-7 against teams currently below 500.
Really?
Yeah, that's almost half our losses. So
It's
Oh,
such
also,
a
that seems to be a
Zoo
struggle.
was garbage in this game. Sorry, I know we're moving on, but
in the Kings.
Oh yeah, Zoo
yeah.
Zoo was a 7'1" baby in the Kings game.
We talked
and
about
they
it
were
last
out
time.
and they were out just too big. So I
Yeah.
thought honestly
they were
going
out
into
their
the game,
top rebounders.
Yeah,
They're
going
1
into the
and 2
game, I was like,
rebounders.
Zoo's gonna have a night,
Yeah.
and I was severely disappointed.
But isn't that the perfect
he was
storm?
he was the biggest pants pisser of the night.
Isn't that the biggest the worst thing to happen to a guy like Zoo is not have to face another kind of big Zoo's best games were always against elite
Yeah.
big. Like
Yeah, that's
he
right.
he looked really good against the
Gobert.
Pistons.
Mhm.
Gobert, like he loves to take on those challenges. If you want to get Zoo off the floor, which happened last year in the playoffs, you run a small
A
lineup
smaller,
out
yeah.
and he gets lost.
And
on
he
something.
fouls you.
Yeah.
Which is
And he also
understandable too.
fouls
Like
you.
that's not what he's built for.
Right.
You know?
Oh, we saw Zubac's mom actually in the tunnel
Yeah.
today.
Wow, breaking news.
She is
Very tall.
6'3". No exaggeration.
I mean, she's not as
Damn.
tall as me, but
okay, fine. But she was sick. She is. Yeah, I was like, okay, yeah,
That makes
the
sense.
stock makes sense.
Yeah, you're all that checks out.
yeah, like
Yeah.
this all checks out.
His father's 5'2", though.
yeah. His dad's tiny.
That's where the baby games come out.
Yeah.
When he's lost there. So what about today's game? The three of us
One
were
of the most
there,
boring
meaning-
games of basketball I've ever
Yeah,
seen in my
totally.
life.
You, Joseph, you saw the first half.
Yeah, I only saw the first half.
You saw like the worst half of that game. Too.
It was awful.
it was so slow.
It was
Yeah,
like I felt bad because I was like kind of spacing out. Like the basketball wasn't like Kawhi. The first half, Kawhi had 24 points, which was phenomenal to watch. Everything outside of that was like,
I was tweeting more than I was watching in the first
yeah,
half.
Oh, yeah,
like,
absolutely.
it's still like it was a 12:30 game.
Yeah.
I know that's
hate
such a
them.
cliche.
Yeah.
They're bad.
They're
Can't eat your
garbage.
lunch.
Doc said it. You can't eat your lunch on time, which is what throws them off.
I think part of that, too, like it. I think there was a concerted effort to find that energy in an early game tonight, but
Yeah.
the whistle was brutal.
Oh yeah, really
Yeah.
early. Bev
And-
got a tech.
It-
14 seconds into the game?
It
Yeah.
was within the first minute. Yeah.
yeah. There were 28 free throws attempted in the first half
Mm-hmm.
combined. Like, no, the whistle was, and then it kind of just went away.
The end of the second into the third, and like most of that third quarter, it went away. In the fourth quarter, they were like, "We're back." They just
Yeah.
started blowing that whistle again. But
Zoo got a bunch of fouls.
God, that
quick.
was such a slow first half. And Will, you and I talked about it. You could see them trying to run, like they wanted to
They
pace
were
the
trying
game,
to push the pace. Yeah. And
but it just couldn't happen because that
Mhm.
whistle kept coming in. It was brutal.
But I mean, overall, we got the win.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not like super psyched.
It's
Just-
like it's one of those wins where I'm conflicted because it's like I mean it's good.
We should have done
It's
this. It was
good,
great.
but it's like
It's
it's
not
just
like-
business as usual.
sometimes you get a good win where like it's not a blowout or
Mhm.
something, but you're like, oh, that was a good win. This is just okay. This is a win. Whatever.
It was
Yeah.
12:30 basketball is what it was.
Yeah.
Well, that second half I think was a little more inspiring.
that Paul George sequence was like
PG looked great.
The minutes was fantastic. Kawhi played 23. Paul George played 25.
Yeah, how does that work? I feel like he played a lot in the first half. How did he what happened in the second half?
Him
They
and
just-
Kawhi almost didn't touch the court.
Yeah, they could just hang out. The bench actually helped extend the lead in the second
What?
half. I know.
What?
That was my favorite part of this game, actually.
That's a
was
good call.
watching the bench unit.
yeah.
Doc was calling plays late, which I think he was kind of maybe doing because, let's treat it like a little bit of
practice.
Scrimmage.
practice.
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
It's okay.
Um,
I don't think the Timberwolves are going to come after us, bro.
Bro, they might. There's not a lot going on.
I
up
mean,
there
I think
right
Kat
now.
might have been our first subscriber to the pod, so
Yeah.
be careful.
But yeah, so it was cool to see the plays run. It was cool to see like the league get. It felt like it'd been a minute since the bench kind of.
Had a
Did
bench
their
game.
job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to say do their job. Also, we
That
should.
was Joseph that said that. For everybody listening.
Also, we have to note that everyone on the Timberwolves fucking hates each
Yeah,
other.
it's
Oh, yeah.
brutal to watch.
Dude, like Karl Anthony Towns is mad at everybody. He was the only one who seemed to care today.
Kat? Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
he really was. And I don't usually say that about Kat, but like this was a game where I was like, dude, he is trying really hard to win this game. No one else.
Have
I
we-
thought Covington defensively was playing well. He didn't have like a super show out game, but
No, but they still had what, like 5, 6 guys in double figures.
yeah.
5.
But
Um,
I mean, have we entered a part of this season for the Timberwolves where this is now the Cat audition tour, and he's just like, somebody get me the fuck
it
out
has
of
to
here.
be. I mean, Cat had 32 and 12 on 50% shooting. He did go 2 of 9 from 3.
Jacking it, bro.
Is that what you were doing?
But like, I mean, Wiggins was garbage. Wiggins had 13 and 5, 2 turnover. Like,
It's only
no
'cause I
one
wasn't there.
cared.
It's the chemistry.
They're yelling at each other. Like, there's no. What is their offense? Also, that was the thing. I was watching this game. It was like, so the offense is pass it to Cat,
Well, yeah, because they don't have a point guard.
and then that's. I don't know, dude.
Can we
Shabazz
expose
Napier.
that?
He had 10 assists.
Shabazz- And the game before that they lost to the Kings in embarrassing fashion. He did have 9. So like, maybe they have something there. I guess. This
I
team's
guess.
in disarray.
Yeah,
like truly.
I mean, I think part of the Wolves' issue is that they haven't really had any consistency on the coaching staff. Like,
Yeah.
Pat's been there for 6 years. Is that right? 6? This is the 6th year, something like that. But he's probably played
Sure.
for like what,
Yeah,
like
just
4
keep-
coaches now.
That's the Devin Booker thing.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
I think he's actually had more coaches in years in the NBA.
Devin
That's
Booker
crazy.
has,
Yeah, which is oof.
But yeah, I think that's part of it. I don't by any means think Ryan Saunders sucks as a coach. I just don't
It's
think he's
too
been there
hard to
long
gauge.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like, you
They've
were
gone through
saying he
such
doesn't have the
crazy
locker room,
turnover.
but it's hard to get the locker room when you got a bunch of guys that are like, I don't know if you're going to be here in a few months.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
so much crazy turnover. There was like a coup basically that happened with the Jimmy Butler stuff. It was like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be here anymore.
Oh, with Thibodeau.
yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
But luckily we got the win.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, I think if you just watch the first half like Joseph did, you probably have a little bit of a different takeaway. Like, I don't know. Like in the second half, I'm like, okay, cool. Like that's what this team is supposed to look like. Like it felt so much better walking away from that game with the play in the second half. The way it was like a classic Lou and Trez game.
Was it?
felt like, yeah, like Trez had some huge plays in that game.
Yeah.
Even
did.
defensively, he had some nice plays there. Speaking of defense, Shamet defensively today, I was actually getting really excited watching him. I've kind of complained about his defense
Yeah.
through the first half
He
of the
almost
season,
fouled
Not even
out,
kind
though.
of.
but he was engaged. Like he was like
That's
trying to push,
Yeah.
like fight through the screens. Because like my whole thing is like he was just dying on screens for the longest time. If you set a pick and he was it was over. The play, like you're running to the
Yeah.
rim. But he was like pushing through those, and that's where he got a lot of his fouls. And I don't know, his footwork on defense just looked better than it has.
He
in
looks
the past.
fully healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doc said he was like, he's back from his ankle totally.
And his back.
I was going to say his back. I'm like, his back, if it's hurt, is the healthiest hurt back in the history of hurt backs.
Right.
Yeah, he looked, I think, what is it now? 9 games with 10 plus points
Yes,
In a
I think it is
row?
9. Yeah.
for Sham.
Did he get 10 tonight?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did.
He got
Because a lot of that though was that fourth quarter.
he got exactly
that,
10.
that they didn't
Right.
really. I mean, I guess that would be my one criticism is like offensively they didn't really get. There wasn't a lot of motion for Shaman until the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
which I guess is difficult when you're putting together a bunch of pieces who it's their second game together.
And
Right,
Kawhi had
that's
24 in the first half. So
Yeah,
it's like,
Which
yeah,
is
yeah,
crazy. Yeah. And
Finished
I was
with
actually-
31,
I was
so
stoked on the
pretty
rotation.
disappointing second half.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
in the game, the rotations were nice. I don't
Would
know.
we be
I don't,
saying that though if
I
Trez
don't know.
wasn't banged up? Like, would we? I mean,
Yeah, Zoo
Yeah,
literally
Zoo,
had to
fourth quarter
come
minutes,
in.
dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Trez rolled his ankle twice. Says he's fine.
Oh, we did it again?
Punched the
Yeah.
well twice in the yeah.
Yeah. Because I saw the
punched-
first one.
Punched the hell out of the stanchion after the first one, but
Yeah.
rolled it again for the second time. Stayed in the game.
I guess a trainer like tried to like get with him, and he was like, "No, I'm fine."
I'm hoping that this can't become a thing because you've talked about it.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Dude,
I've like floated it out there. Like, if Trez gets hurt, I don't know what happens to the rest of our season. Like, there goes like any valuable trade piece that we have.
Right.
And if it's after the deadline,
and who-
what
and-
the hell do we do? Sign
Yeah.
Joakim Noah?
Yeah,
off
like
the
who
torn Achilles?
soaks
Like,
up minutes at the 5? Like, it's
Who soaks up 65% of the minutes?
Yeah, exactly,
Like-
exactly.
I mean, Jamaica
18
would be
straight
your
second
next
half
option.
minutes.
I mean, yeah,
Maybe.
Jamaica would be the next option, but the returns thus far have not looked very good.
And also,
this season,
Doc
I mean,
doesn't
that
even
could
like
change,
that.
but he doesn't.
So it's like Pat, like that's. I honestly think that Doc. I'm not saying it's right, but I think Doc would put Pat ahead of Jamichael.
he
if that
really
would
likes
happen.
Jamaica on that second unit.
Mhm.
Which makes sense because he spaces the floor for him.
Yeah,
I mean, but what
In
is
theory.
Mo doing in the starting lineup at this point?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, his
what tangible benefit is he really?
He had a rough
providing?
first half. He was also
He was a team worst -9.
He was -9
in a handed victory.
Yeah, I mean, I think his purpose through the first half of the season was taking that toughest defensive assignment
Totally.
so that Kawhi could get better. But now that Kawhi's just like, I'm that guy now, I'm back. Yeah, I do think Mo should move to the bench. I would like to see, and I think we've talked about this, Shamit as your starting two.
Yeah, go small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I
I
just
just
don't
small
think
with Zoo on the floor.
Yeah, small with Zoo.
I don't think you can do that this early. You have to prioritize Kawhi's health, right? And putting him at the 4 is going to subject him to a lot more punishment, throughout the season. So you have to almost save that as like a in case of emergency playoff.
But I feel like most 4s are Kawhi's size now. Like the Blake Griffin 4 kind of feels like an archaic thing. Like the league is just smaller. Am I crazy in saying that?
I don't think so. Like watching today, I was like, Covington is like the biggest 4 I feel like I've seen in a while.
Patterson's a gigantic 4.
Yeah.
Patterson is huge.
Right.
Like he's just a big ass dude. I don't see, my thing with Sham is that if we match up with a team in the playoffs that has an absurd backcourt, I don't know if I'd kind of maybe rather have Mo out there because the other team, just in terms of continuity, has played with him on the starting unit more.
Well, that makes sense too because the rotations are a lot tighter and smaller in the postseason.
Yeah,
anyways. But are you saying you trust Mo to play more minutes than Shamit in the playoffs?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
Because the spacing obviously needs to be there.
Right.
I like Mo kind of in that starter role. The Gortat pioneered 12 minutes to start or whatever.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
7.5 minutes, see how it's going type thing. And if his offense is working great, leave him in or whatever.
Yeah.
If they're actually paying attention to him, that's great. But this is where I don't know. It's just hard for me to like figure out which I'd rather trade off Mo's offense or
For
Sham's
Sham's
defense.
Yeah.
I think
That's
I'd
fair.
rather take the defense in the playoffs.
Yeah, and also
I don't.
Interesting.
Mo allows both Kawhi and Paul George to play free safety, which can wreak havoc.
Right,
on
and
teams.
because they're amazing in the
It's fair.
passing lanes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that's totally fair. The one thing about Mo and his offensive struggles, do you think the team should be making more of like a concerted effort to run plays for him? It's the same thing that they did for Sham.
But also like not
No,
at all.
right.
Because, like,
Especially if you've got PG and Kawhi healthy.
he's not going to score 20. And like, there's so many guys.
Not
We
with that
talk about
attitude.
it on our pod that like, if Kawhi and PG are doing the Kawhi and PG thing,
Mm-hmm.
we only really need 1-2 guys to step up.
Right.
And if that's not Lou or Trez, like
Right.
usually one of those guys steps up. And then outside of those two, there's like Jamaica. Mo is like 20 points from Mo would be like, what the hell is going on?
It would
right
be
now?
awesome, yeah.
So I don't think that's a thing that.
Okay, that's totally fair because
You know?
his whole purpose is defense, right? So
Yeah.
why?
And he does little things offensively. Like he's pretty good in the dunker spot. He's a good
He
cutter.
is good in the dunker spot.
Yeah,
he
so-
has the
cutter.
Jermichael
Yeah.
Greenness of like,
Yeah.
I know where to be right now. So
I mean, his
Exactly.
first points in the game tonight was like an amazing backdoor cut.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
yeah,
that's where he looks best. Yeah. So I don't think
Yeah.
like running action for him to get like shots
No.
on the perimeter.
if you
makes
think
any
people are
real-
mad about Doc Rivers coaching now, imagine if he started running early sets for Mo in basketball.
we just got
game.
well, because what's the stat when Mo scores 10 and more?
We're
10 or more
undefeated.
points? We're, like,
Undefeated. Yeah.
undefeated.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Get,
like,
dude, get him 10 in the first?
in the first quarter in the Pullum. Yeah,
We
fair.
determined, so we're undefeated in
Stop
games
playing.
where Mo gets 10 plus points, and then we're also like undefeated in games where Zoo gets some like weird amount of minutes. So we just meet those
18.
two. Yeah, we just meet those two criteria. We're going undefeated the rest of the season based on the numbers.
That's what I'm saying.
and that's how math works.
Analytics
So.
tells you.
Yeah.
right. But one other thing in the game today, and this could just be an affect of the minutes restrictions, but I feel like I was seeing Doc do it a little bit before these most recent injuries happened, but it looked like he was trying at least to stagger PG and Kawhi. He pulled PG pretty early, which is probably minutes restrictions, right? But when he brought him back in, he let him play for a while without Kawhi.
I noticed that. Like, I noticed that too. I think that it makes sense, especially. I feel like the bench return has not quite been what we thought it was going to be, I guess, maybe coming into this season. And I think like having the ability to stagger those two guys is like, it's unbelievable.
I think that was maybe unintentional though, because he was talking about in the post game, or maybe it was pregame, where he was like, we had 5 guys on minutes restriction,
Right.
which really seems to be only one. he was like, I was hoping to see that 35 number by Paul George for his minutes restriction. I was like, okay, a 35-minute minutes restriction, again, not a minutes restriction.
Yeah.
But so like,
James.
I don't think I hope he staggers them more, but I don't think it's going to be as much as people want.
Right.
Gotcha.
I mean, like a couple minutes here or there.
Yeah, because there's
I mean,
still
that
the
makes sense.
belief in Lou and Trez,
Right.
which I'm not saying shouldn't be there, but
But you throw PG in that mix, and that makes that threat to Lou and Trez even bigger, I feel
yeah,
like.
for sure.
Oh yeah.
And then another thing out of Paul George today, he was super vocal on the defensive end. He seemed like we've heard Doc talk about it several times throughout the season about a lack of communication on the defensive end. And it feels like Paul George has kind of just been like, you know what? I'll be the guy that's gonna dictate what we're doing on defense. There was one possession, I can't remember what it was, but it looked like Pat started to kind of drag off a little bit and was like looking to switch, and PG just shoved him in the back into the guy he was defending. Was like, no, we're not switching on this one. So I kind of like the idea that Paul George is being like, all right, this is my role.
The vocal defensive leader.
Yeah, exactly.
You notice Kalamian was really vocal today
When is he
on the
not?
sidelines.
Yeah, I love Rex.
He was just particularly like seemed more like in the
he was like
pregame-
he was like standing screaming on defense.
in the
It was
pregame
great.
tunnel too. He seemed a lot. I don't usually see him like walking around and be like, "Hey, what's going on?" Like he was a lot more like fired up. for
He's the
this
one
game.
dude who loves the 12:30 tip off.
Yeah, he's like, "This is great. Yeah, got my 12-mile run done before
Watch
I
my
came
show-
in."
I can watch my shows.
yeah. But no, he seemed like. Then also like part of this game has kind of the team made it through the first game after Kobe.
Right.
This felt like kind of a like catharticness. Not to bring it back, but you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
this felt a little more like a normal time to play basketball.
Totally.
If that
Totally.
makes
Yeah. No, I get
sense
what you're
Yeah.
saying.
for all these guys.
And that's
Yeah.
basically what Doc said too. He's like, it's just good to get back, like just get back to normal.
Yeah.
And
Right.
One thing I want to touch on, you kind of mentioned it a little bit, Will, about the returns on the bench. So this is something I've struggled with, and I've been asking myself a lot lately, especially with this. I don't know if we want to call it like a rough stretch, but we've had some tough games in January that we lost that we probably shouldn't have lost, right? With whether it's Kawhi or PG being out. Was this bench a little overhyped in the offseason? Like, is the depth, did we give the depth a little too much credit heading into the season? Because I don't know, at times it just feels like we're bleeding points when we do the hockey rotation and it's the 5 bench guys on the floor. Is the depth what we thought it was going to be? Not everybody at once.
Well, I mean, I think the hardest part is the bench. So much of the bench centers around sort of that Lou and Trez pick and roll.
Which they haven't been running that much this year.
Lou is still in anyway, I looked it up today. Lou is running just about as many pick and rolls as he was last year.
What about Trez?
I don't look that
Because
one up.
I think like a couple weeks ago, Russo broke it down, or it might have been Clippers film. Somebody broke it down and was like, he's not doing as much of the roll man as he was last year, and the
Well, I
majority
think
of possessions are coming at a post.
I think what they're pointing out and what they've been pointing out is he's not passing out of the short roll as efficiently as he
The
was
tunnel
last
vision
year.
in the pick and roll has been
Yeah.
absurdly
Yeah.
bad this
Yeah.
year.
well,
Sometimes
because it feels like 9 times out of 10 when he does that, there's at least one open wing that he could kick it out to.
And he does.
Well, so
Yeah.
that's one of the things. Zoo today ripped an offensive rebound away, and then there was like 3 Wolves around him. He was getting hounded, probably got fouled a couple times.
He was getting hounded by the Wolves, huh?
There
I
you
like
go.
that.
Kicked it out to Sham. Sham just nailed the 3. So like that's a play that Zoo makes
Yeah.
much more often than Trez makes.
Zoo has been so good in the short roll this year. It's pretty insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just that. I think it is. It's when you're making that play, you keep your head up and you're aware of where everybody's at. But the bench, like, is it? Rodney McGruder's had a rough year. I thought we were going to get a lot more out of Rodney McGruder, honestly.
I think the expectations were fair to have though coming into the season.
Okay.
Because the way that Jermichael ended the season
Was
starting
unbelievable.
in the
Yeah,
playoffs.
yeah.
Like,
and I knew Jamaica would have up and downs during the
Yeah.
regular season. Like that's not a surprise to
and what
me.
Shamit looked like at the end of the season, like his whole season last year was literally one of the best 3-point shooting years for someone who'd been in the league that long.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. He was. I mean, he shot like 42 on the season.
And
last
like
year?
we
Mhm.
shipped out Chandler and
Temple.
Temple, so it's like all the expectations made total sense to have. I think I still stand by all of that. It's just like they've been called to do a lot.
Yeah.
So it goes back
too.
to
and
continuity.
Shamit's missed what 18 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shamit's missed hella games. Like that's a lot. It's a lot more than you think. Like when you look at his, like you're just like, oh, that's actually a huge part. And rhythm's such a big thing for him too.
Right.
But that's not just. I'm not going to pretend like there are some times like today we were talking about in the Timberwolves game. Felt like the first time in a while that the bench was like, you said doing your job, doing his job. So it's like, like this kind of was as advertised. The bench was supposed to make leads bigger,
right?
If not hold
the lead,
right.
Like we've seen us just like throw away some leads.
Yeah,
with the bench,
and that's what I'm
which has
getting at.
been-
But you think that's more continuity issue than anything?
I really do. I'm like I feel bad because I'm just like fully in on this continuity because it's such a big thing. We've added.
Yeah, I mean, we
new
had no idea that
guys.
at this point in the season, Paul George would have only played 28 games.
Right.
I mean, we knew he was going to miss some, but
11. We
11.
knew
This
he was gonna miss 11 games.
most recent one was definitely not. I don't think anybody was expecting that with the hamstring.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and again, I blame that Memphis game.
Yeah.
For that.
Well, I think we blame the next game having him play.
But
No,
they
the
made him
Memphis
have to-
game
yeah.
necessitated him playing, quote unquote.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it was such an
I'm
embarrassing
passing
loss.
the buck to
Yeah.
Memphis. I'm letting the Knicks off the hook on this one because they got
Yeah.
so many other problems over there.
Let's just add it to the list.
But I think.
Do you
go
think
ahead.
we should like add to the bench? Like this blends to trade talk because Mo is the most movable piece basically,
Right.
or like has to be.
Well, contractually, yes.
Contractually,
Yeah.
yeah.
like, do we need to add to the bench? Like what?
Well, okay, so I mean, I guess we can go to mailbag because that's basically
Yeah.
the mailbag. Is we got a bunch of questions about either
It's all the-
upgrades
yeah.
or
Yeah.
everybody wants to know about trades.
How do you feel about the bench? You haven't given your complete thoughts yet.
It's tough for me to tell. Like, I almost think that it was a little overhyped, but you put it in perspective where it's like heading in, those were realistic expectations. But I don't know. I expected more out of Rodney Magruder, to be honest.
I got to agree with that.
I'm kind of sad about how
I went to bat
not
for him a
great
couple weeks
he's
ago on
been.
our podcast, and ever since then, it's like that. Man,
It's also hard for me though to break out of the mentality of last year. Like this bench, like what I like. The two key pieces are there, obviously, but it wasn't gonna have to be the same thing that it
Right.
was last year.
yeah.
And so like to think that it would be the same or be better, I think that's my fault. That's on me.
I get that.
We'll take that one, coach.
Yeah. Doc is so happy to hear that.
Taking
too.
one for the team, dude.
Yeah.
You're a bigger man than me.
This is all my fault.
But
Doc, I'm sorry.
yeah, I mean, Magruder's been disappointed. I also did not expect to see as much Jerome Robinson playing time as we've seen this
Jesus
season.
fucking Christ.
I'll agree with that. He's had a resurgence that has been entirely facilitated by Doc Rivers for some reason.
Well, yeah,
Defensively, he's looked better.
So that
the
was
defense has been his best part.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
the shooting is.
But
The
Rome-
shooting is
Oof.
rough.
Rome was he was
guns
Jerry West
jammed.
pick, right? That was his guy. He was like, "This is the guy we're going to take over
Yeah.
MPJ." So
I still stand by that though.
yeah,
For the
yeah.
time,
We're not here
Well,
to
yeah.
talk about.
Okay.
We're not here to talk about that draft. We can
Right.
yell
I get a little
about that.
I get a little
Yeah, like-
heated hearing about Michael Porter Jr. I'm done.
But yeah, same. But with the Rome thing, like I'm almost. Is he getting the Avery Bradley treatment where they're just like, just fucking show some value out there and we'll see what we can get back in return? Or is
No,
Jerry West just
I
in the
don't think
office
they're
like,
trying
you're
to
going to
trade
play
him.
my fucking guy
I don't think
every
they're-
single night?
I don't think they're trying to trade him. Everyone talks about wanting to trade Jerome, but all those people
There's no
also
return.
hate Jerome. What's
Yeah.
the return on
Right,
Jerome?
Right.
Isn't
Unless
he gonna
you can
make
cash
it?
considerations,
Devin
dude.
Booker, I'm
Cash,
pretty sure
cash
by that.
considerations.
So my thing is like, so if we're gonna keep him, put him in the G League.
Yeah.
Ball the hell out, dude.
Right. It's-
Go
They've only
out
done
there.
that-
He got a DNP in one of the G League games he was sent down to, which I would have talked about for 25 minutes. Why?
Yeah.
Like, why? I don't blame Jerome at all. Why give him a DNP? You're
Man.
playing the Skyforce, whatever the hell it was.
Just with the way though we have been so shorthanded, like it's not like it hasn't been needed. Like man can't fill in those minutes.
yeah.
And
then-
and when he had
Derek
to
White
throw it
Jr. I would love to see in those minutes, but he's too small.
Flipper
Yeah,
legend.
they've
Yeah.
tried, but Jerome took his minutes. There was 2 days where Derek Walton Jr. had precedent over Jerome, and then
He made one defensive mistake and Doc kicked him
and
to
then
the
that
curb.
just went
Yeah.
away.
It's just wild to me that everyone's on such a like young guys are on such a
Short
short
leash.
leash with Doc, and then he just lets Rome run wild. Like it's
Yeah.
really bizarre to me. But yeah, I mean,
He's
as
a
far
good
as
hang. What do you want?
Right. I guess
You hate Jerome.
I do.
Yeah.
I tried not to.
it's a strong word.
It really boils down to I was in Miami. We keep talking about this. I was in Miami. I was in the building.
Okay.
he was the
Shutting it
reason.
down.
He was the reason we were down 24-9. And he was the
man.
reason we were down 24-9. He was awful. He was unplayable. It was 5 against 4.
Wait,
on
is
both
Will
ends.
Will not taking the responsibility for that?
Yeah, this
That
is
first
Will's
quarter.
fault, theoretically.
This isn't my fault. Jerome's going to be great.
What's Jerome Island look like right now?
Oh man, it's pretty sparse.
Are you still over there, or what's going on?
I'm still there. Yeah,
Still setting up for Firefest?
I mean, that's what an island is. You know, like you gotta wait for a while until you either die or you know, like
the sea level rises enough to
Crazy!
consume
It's
you.
crazy. The rent just keeps going down over there.
Yeah.
Oh,
I never know how
it's
to
very
work.
affordable. There's a lot of McMansions, but
There's a lot of empty drywall over. No studs.
Yeah, I mean, I guess grading the bench should be something held off for more healthy games, right?
Still first in the league in minutes per game, first in the league in points per game, and 5th in net rating. The bench. This
Who's
year.
ahead of
Really?
us in net rating?
The Bucks, who
Makes
are
sense.
destroyers of worlds.
Someone got mad at us in our mentions the other day. They were like, "How come we're lower than the Bucks on championship betting expectations?" And I was like, "Because the Bucks are playing the best basketball that they've ever played."
Yeah.
That's not our fault.
They're a
What do you guys think?
buzzsaw.
Yeah,
They're
like-
playing some of the
exactly.
best basketball we've ever seen.
Yeah, it's like, what do you want me to do? Go, like, we can't do anything about that.
Also in front of us, the Grand Warlock, Carlisle's Dallas Mavericks.
Okay.
the Grand Warlock.
He is a wizard, bro. He takes a stick of
First
gum.
of all, two very different things.
Yeah, whatever, bro. I can do whatever, bro. I'm not into that.
Yeah, thank God you didn't say Grand Wizard because that would have gotten
that
weird.
could've
That's
really
why.
bad.
That's why I said Warlock.
Okay.
Anyway, he could take like a stick of gum, some homeless guy, you and me, and then one NBA player, and he'd be like, "All right, this lineup's gonna be productive." He's insane.
Who's ahead of them?
So the Bucks, and then after, so it goes us, Lakers, Raptors, Mavericks, Bucks.
Okay, great company to be in.
Yeah.
terms
Yeah,
of-
definitely. And like, I'd say probably
the Lakers bench has a better net rating.
Better net rating, not as much scoring.
Mm.
their defense has been a lot better than, especially off the bench, than I think anybody was expecting. But of all those teams,
Yeah, regular season. Good times.
that you just listed, the Clippers probably have the most injuries in.
yeah,
different
we're
starting
still
lineups,
leading
right?
the league in starting lineups.
No, I don't think we are anymore.
Other than Toronto, not the starting lineup thing, but Toronto's
Is
been
Golden
really
State
big.
The
banged up?
Mavs have had a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
too.
Someone recently passed the Clippers for most starting lineups. That I want to say it's Dallas. I think Dallas actually has rolled out more starting lineups than the Clippers
I
have
know
at
the
this
Golden the
point.
Warriors had too.
Yeah, well, that
Mm.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do.
It's the win one, tank one kind of mentality
Yeah.
that they're going for this year. So, I mean, let's just jump into trade stuff. I know your guys' mentions are crazy, but anytime you throw a mailbag out there on your guys' show, I'm sure it's trades.
Trades.
So yeah, less than a week away from the trade deadline, which is that's absolutely nuts. You touched on it a little bit. Like, is it you're not expecting anything big this trade deadline from the Clippers? Because
not anything like the Blake trade.
well, yeah, I mean,
Because what do we? I mean,
Well, so impact wise, like a moving Trez would be impact wise,
right.
in
on that scale.
Yeah, totally.
Obviously not like salary or even return wise, I don't think, but impact wise, I don't think anything that crazy.
And also fan reaction would be about
I
the
know
equivalent.
that's what's so hard with me with figuring out trades is like the locker room
Mhm.
committee of Lou, Trez, and Bev.
Yeah.
That's who runs the locker room.
right.
It's like, everyone knows that. It's not a weird thing at all,
Mhm.
but like if you move one of those guys is pretty movable.
Mhm.
And it's like that's such a big factor in all this.
Yeah.
And with their, hatred of the media for the athletic piece.
I've got that on the docket. We'll get to
Okay.
that. I almost feel like a Trez trade could happen, and I kind of feel like Trez knows it. Will, you and I talked about this, I think we've all talked about it. There's a weird vibe around Trez right now.
Yeah.
And during the TNT Kobe Memorial thing in the middle of that, one thing that really stood out to me that Jerry West said, and I don't remember what he was saying in reference to, but he just said, one thing I truly believe is you should never lie to a player. And the first thing I thought of was Blake running through the tunnel, yelling 9 fucking years, and then getting traded less than a week later. So I think that Jerry West is very much like, if you're going to trade somebody or you're shopping them around, let them know, let them be aware. And there's definitely been a vibe to Trez. I mean, this year in particular, but recently it just really seems that way. And I wonder if he's had the talk where they've told him, hey, we're seeing what we can get for you, and he's aware of that. I don't know, but it just
or they just haven't offered to extend him, and it's like,
which is
we're
the other
gonna
thing.
see what happens. Yeah, because that's a
Pretty
different conversation too. Of like, we'll pay you if we can't find a better replacement.
Totally,
which
and
is never fun to hear.
Yeah, they might have given him the in summer, maybe you go see what other offers are out there.
Mm-hmm.
well, and the lack of extension, I've brought it up a couple of times. Like, it kind of speaks volumes. Like, Tobias Harris got an extension offer. You know what I mean? Like, and he was there for that. He
But
saw
that was a cordial. We know you're going to turn this down. That wasn't a real extension.
right. But you
offer.
do that.
Still a big risk.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but like everyone knew he was like, I don't know. I think that one's like, I don't want to say hollow, but they knew he wasn't going to take it.
Well, that was
Right.
the hope. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think they don't offer it because they're afraid Trez doesn't want to take it, and he's maybe not in the future
Well,
plans?
they also might not know what the market is
Right.
for Trez.
What is the market for Trez?
I have no
Because
idea.
if he's expecting to get
I thought he
north
was
of $20 million a year, I don't know how much that market exists.
I don't
for him.
even think the market at 18 and a half exists for him.
I disagree.
for me. I look at the Sabonis trade, and not the trade, sorry, the Sabonis signing, and like I think it's just pretty clear that a lot of people are like wising up to this idea that a small ball five that comes off your bench and can provide instant offense is really valuable. So I do think he's looking in the 18 to 20 range, especially this year with like such a low
dearth.
That's a good call too.
Like of people out there.
Yeah.
I think that he's probably looking at the 20.
Sabonis is a better all around player though.
Yeah, that's the thing. Sabonis can shoot. He can stretch your floor a little
And play
more
better
for you,
defense.
and he can play the four. I don't know
beast.
if Trez is
cannot-
capable of playing the four.
We saw
that's fair.
Zoo and Trez in the Kings
and it looked
game.
horrible.
Yeah.
it was
awful.
That hurt my
It was
head.
awful.
That was bad.
we
Gave me a
literally
sinus
lost
headache.
rebounds because of it, because they were in each other's
They would
way.
run
They
it.
literally stood in the same place on 4 straight possessions.
Yeah,
I'm
which
so
like,
glad I
glad
never
you
have to
know-
get
I'm
that
glad
fan
you know the
question
spots,
again.
man.
Yeah,
This is
exactly,
great, but
yeah.
like
I would have rather like Zoo put Trez on his shoulders and they just played that way than what we saw.
So
That
legal
We
was-
should probably do that against Boban the next time we play Dallas.
But yeah, so like, I don't like. What would you want the Clippers to sign Trez for?
I'm the wrong person to ask.
Well, you
Why?
what
He's not.
have you rescinded your lifetime offer, Charles? Because Charles has been
I had
floating
it-
around for a long
No, so
time. A
listen to the
lifetime
contract.
contract offer for
$10
Trez
million a year, lifetime contract.
in perpetuity.
With the cap going up literally every single year, that's a great goddamn deal.
It didn't go up this much because of the China money. So
But that's still a good deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, like, I don't know, 2 to 3 years, $50 million a year. I would consider. I'd be like, okay,
15.
yeah.
It's too much.
You think 15 is too much?
He's not a starter.
Right.
He's not a starter. You can't start him. This is where I lose everybody. But
No, I mean,
Not
you
that.
can't start.
Yeah,
it.
you
I mean,
can't
talk
so
about
is
it.
Lou Will not worth $15 million a year? Like
no,
his current contract aside, no.
Yeah, you
He's
can't.
not.
Well, you also it's impossible to think about Lou Will's value with this contract. he
Yeah,
has.
it's-
like,
no.
this is-
But I mean, I'm just saying, like, if I were a GM, I probably wouldn't be very good at it. But I wouldn't give
You know,
either of those
I
guys.
agree. I mean, especially like to re-sign him now, that's a lot of money.
we have to think about ourselves as a championship contender now.
Do you think we paid Lou the extra year because we might trade him or something?
No, I think that was
Also a good faith move.
yeah, it was a good.
Yeah,
it was like
'cause
it's a locker room
thank you
move.
so
Yeah.
much for staying.
I mean, regardless of that
Just throwing it
year,
out there.
the discount he took makes that trade or makes that contract really hard to trade because of what you would get back for that same dollar amount.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that-
It's
So like the
not-
year, I don't think has anything to do with
Fair.
that.
I think the most I'd give Trez is like 12 a year, and that's a lot.
Oh
For me.
man,
Yeah.
that's a lot for you.
That's a lot for me.
Well, I think the market's a lot higher than that.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think 12. He's not even picking up the phone.
Right.
Totally. So
Right.
if
Let him
that's
go to
the
Atlanta
case, if that's the
Yeah.
case, and
Or the
I mean,
Knicks.
this team has said multiple times their priority is financial flexibility. They want to be flexible with their money.
Which I don't really. This is my issue with the Dodgers too.
Yeah.
Billions of dollars. You have billions of dollars.
Yeah,
Right.
Steve
Go into the
Ballmer
luxury
owns the
tab.
team. Yeah.
Who
And-
cares?
Yeah.
And we have an owner that probably wouldn't mind doing that.
we have a
But
privately
Yeah, we
financed
have no
stadium.
precedent
We
though,
have,
like to really say
the last owner. You know, it was a different story.
I mean,
Yeah,
we
A
don't
little
know.
bit. A little different.
But like
yeah.
it's like
Slightly.
it's this thing of like there's so much money. You're raising season ticket holders things 30%. The
Yeah.
money's coming in. Go
Mhm.
into the luxury tax.
Right.
Like
no.
but I think they're worried about being hard capped on that.
have they said
Yeah.
that they're not going to go over the cap?
no, they haven't
No.
said it explicitly.
No,
like
yeah.
that. No.
They haven't
So
said those
I'm
words
not,
exactly.
I'm not really worried about that part.
So that's where they give Trez a big contract.
But let's say they
See, but
don't.
I
They don't
disagree.
value
Yeah,
him.
no, I hear you.
That's the next step.
Let's say they don't value him at like 15 a year, and somebody will offer him that, whether it's Atlanta or somebody else. Then is the move this week get value for him while you can?
Yes.
Sweet. Damn.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
I,
what it is.
I, I think so. And I love Trez. I don't necessarily want to see him traded, but what else do we really have to give up that's like a piece of value that's going to bring you back something of value?
Because it's probably
25th
Trez.
pick in
It's
this
also
year's draft.
Trez and Mo, right? It's got to be Trez.
yeah,
yeah.
and that's the thing. Any trade that happens,
That's what-
Mo has to be involved because of his $11 million
Yeah,
contract.
exactly.
It
Yeah.
adds up to whatever everybody else is making.
So we talk about, so everybody kind of asked like Richard asked, who are the Clippers looking at? We need another center. Mitchell Robles said, odds we
don't
see
need
the
more than
that
2
Richard L?
centers. I want to float this out there. There should never
there
be
you go.
3 centers.
I agree with that.
Right. And then basically, if the Clippers don't find a big through a trade, would you consider signing Joakim Noah?
No, he tore his Achilles.
Yeah, an
it's coming
Achilles
off an
injury.
Achilles.
Honestly, if he was a backcourt player and it was an Achilles injury, I wouldn't be as concerned. But big guys with Achilles injuries, they're never the same again.
His
Can you
athleticism had already declined
Can
so
you just
much.
imagine for 1 second the playoff game that Pat Bev and Joakim Noah have, annoying the other team star into 2 technicals?
Yeah,
like
but-
that's all I want.
He hasn't played in so long.
That's fine. Put him out there for
Put
3
Phil
minutes
out
to get
there.
the second tee.
To
That's
tear-
all you got to do.
tear
Yeah.
his Achilles again.
Yeah,
Like, it'd be a heartbreaking scene.
I think what makes this tough is you have to get a center back that Doc trusts because
That's
it's
the-
clear
yeah.
that he
Yeah.
does not trust Zoo.
And that's why I think Zoo would go out. I mean, like
We've talked about Zoo being a trade.
I
Being
think
more
that Zoo,
tradable,
I
yeah.
mean, it makes sense to ship Zoo out if
He
he's
makes
not
the same
gonna
money
play.
as Trez.
He makes
They
the
both
money
make
as
6 million,
Trez.
yeah.
He's a young, elite rim protector.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And like you can like off the bench, Zoo would be a great. He gets his pick and roll defense down and like stuff like
Yeah,
that. Like
it's great for the
he's
team
a
getting him.
crazy valuable
Definitely,
piece.
yeah.
But
and
that's
like
the
if we're
problem
not
is-
playing him, like do you
What do we
guys have
get
any
back?
regret
Yeah.
at this point? Maybe not taking him more of a look at Dwight.
No.
No.
He's creaky.
Yeah.
He's been creaky since December.
That's fair.
I don't know.
We've entered the section where you put a trade out there, and whatever play you bring up, Joseph just goes, "No, that guy fucking stinks."
Yeah, this has been actually a really recurring theme between our text chain. They just throw out mediocre players. Like, why don't we get these guys? I'm like, no, he fucking sucks. Why would you
It's
bring
so
him in?
hard.
Yeah.
So it's so hard with guys who are in that like on a scale of 1 to 10, he's like 6.5, 7.4,
Yeah.
and you're like, I don't.
That doesn't
care
move the
about-
needle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
Does Zoo play at all though? If we had picked up Dwight this summer,
Oh my
like what do
God.
his minutes
Probably
look
not.
like?
Probably not. Probably not.
But
Like,
also,
Dwight
so
would
in
probably be
that
our
s-
starting center.
See, when you said like Dwight looks creaky in our situation, Dwight would be phenomenal as the third center. Like
Third, yeah.
I mean,
energy.
then you have 3 centers, but
Mhm.
like, dude, he would be crazy good in that third center spot. But we are where we are. We're still what 2nd in total rebounds a game. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
it's not
And
that
I,
we're
I
still
also
doing
think
all
the
right
thing
there.
with Dwight this year, the kind of resurgence year he's had, I don't know if that happens on any other team. I honestly think LeBron has a lot to do with that, just being the locker room guy. Like,
Definitely.
who's the guy that
he couldn't
is
come
talking
in-
him up
yeah.
in our locker
Patrick
room?
Beverly's making fun of that haircut if he comes into the Clippers.
So
Absolutely.
don't make
Yeah.
me look up the numbers. Okay, the numbers say that Dwight has not been a positive player for like 2.5 months.
We're talking about different roles.
No,
though.
I know. I'm just saying, like, but we're buying into this Dwight resurgence.
No, I
because
was
of
just
the-
saying.
yeah,
It was just it's a theoretical. I'm
Yeah,
just asking.
yeah.
a question. I'm just
Dwight
asking a
Howard.
question, man.
the off the field concerns and all that other stuff. But
Joseph hates everybody.
That's not true. So I actually want to throw out a trade. So
Okay.
there are 2 guys. Well, there's one guy that I would want that's like a realistic name that's been thrown around, and it's Robert Covington.
Yeah, we can't. We all are in agreement.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure, let's do it.
Rocco's a
Yeah.
huge
If we're
improvement.
gonna trade Mo, we need to get someone who's at least 80%. I mean, Mo's defense has been a little overrated, I guess. This season in particular. But you want someone who can at least fill that role.
He's also guarding 1s and 2s. a
Yeah,
lot more.
exactly.
Did you guys know that he can guard 1 through 4?
I did
Five.
know that. Yeah.
Are we all in agreement though? Like, if we're talking realistic trades, like, do you guys? I mean, are we all in agreement that it's like most likely a wing that can play the 4 and guard?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
absolutely.
Okay.
But if
No one's worried about a playmaking guard or a
No,
center.
no, I'm not.
no.
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
not worried
yeah.
about it, but I think they might trade for one.
I
If
could,
that,
or
if that makes sense.
I could see a playmaking guard something that they're looking for in maybe the buyout market. I don't know if
Yeah,
they
it'd be a
trade for
second.
one.
It'd be a second string guy because Doc said after today's game he was like, I don't want like a lot. He's like, I don't want one primary ball handler.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to be able to spread that. But I think maybe on that second unit they're maybe trying. I
I
hope
do-
I don't want Collison back.
No
I
way.
don't get.
either.
I honestly, in the rotations, don't get where a playmaking point
Exactly.
guard
Exactly.
fits in.
It
Mhm.
doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. We have wings that can play make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kawhi is having the best playmaking season of his career.
Bev
He's
has the
doubled.
responsibility with the
Yeah.
playbook.
And
Yeah.
adding that to
too.
the bench seems like a waste.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, totally.
You got Lou.
yeah.
But let's say that the Roko thing happens. Are we including Trez in that? Because if we are, then my question is, who is your big off the bench?
Well, I think in that deal you'd have to expand it, and
And
I think
get Gorgie Jang?
Yeah, Gorgie Jang. I think the only way that happens is if you're helping them financially, right?
Mhm.
Technically, you're helping them financially with Roko, but he's a young, solid player, so like you're not really helping them
And he's locked up.
by taking a good contract
years?
off their books.
I think
Yeah,
three
three more
years.
years after this. So you'd have to take someone like Gorgie Jang, which I'd be open to theoretically.
For an off the bench
to
five?
get Roko. Like I need to maximize this year. Like yeah, next year it's gonna suck having Gorgie's contract on your books, but you're kind of locked into what the team is anyway. Other than Lou, who I think you can re-sign. Wait, is that extension until next year?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have Lou next year.
Yeah.
Oh, then we have nothing to worry about basically because everybody we have is locked up. Like our core 8 would be locked up for
Through next year, yeah.
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
we would
there's
still
so
have
much money comes off the books after next season.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, you got to get that Rome contract in there.
yeah.
You got to carve out.
Yeah, why haven't we seen that extension yet?
Yeah, okay, this is what we need to talk about.
Yeah. Anyway, so yes, you would want to hopefully in any trade pick somebody up, right? So theoretically, hear me out. Okay, I've got one that's off the beaten
You're
path
really front porch
Okay.
in this one.
that I want to throw out there. Okay, would you guys trade Trez, Mo, and our first for Kelly Oubre and Aaron Baines?
So I can answer this because we've talked about it. I would.
Yeah, I would in a second. The
Yeah.
Suns would laugh in our face.
Yeah.
So you really don't think they value Trez as like a
I think they value Oubre a bunch because he's a
Mhm.
fantastic on-ball defender.
Okay.
Baines has also shot like
He
shit.
didn't get
Yeah.
he didn't
Since
get overpaid
December.
like I
Right.
thought Oubre was going to get.
like
The he stinks table just turned on to Joseph.
No, I said when we first talked about Baines, I said he stinks. But
beginning of the year Baines, if he was still playing like that,
Yeah.
oh yeah. 100%.
but even then, you I mean
he's
you
a
don't-
great locker room guy too.
but
by
you
all
don't need
accounts.
him to be the 3-point threat, right? You can just
yeah, on the
park
second
him.
unit
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
exactly. You can just
Yeah.
park him in the paint.
Him and Bev would get along. I think that'd be
Mhm.
Yeah.
anytime Bev and Baines are on the floor together would be
Right.
a nightmare for
Yeah.
the refs and for the other team.
And I
Baines-
think a real big would be fun to watch with Lou off the bench too.
Mm-hmm.
Like a 7-foot big would be kind of fun because Lou would stretch the paint for that guy to eat a little more
And Sham's
on
out there.
post-ups.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Yeah.
he mobile enough though to defend like in pick and roll against smaller kinds of lineups? You know,
Baines?
because yeah,
I mean,
I
but
don't
does
know.
Trez actually do
He's
that?
also
that's
6'10".
fair.
Yeah.
I mean that's fair. That's fair.
And we talked about it. Like I
But
think
the threat is there. The threat is there.
the
the
quickest
threat
way
is
to
there.
get a big guy off the floor is to run pick and roll, right? Like
Yeah.
we've seen teams do it over and over again. We did it last year to DeMarcus Cousins, and then they kind of did it back to us with Zoo.
Yeah.
So if a team is just running pick and roll at you, then I think your answer is okay. We're gonna put Jermichael at the 5.
Mhm.
Gorgie.
Gorgie. Get Gorgie out there.
Quick feet Gorgie, who might be 50, but we're not sure.
Yeah. Him and Dwayne Dedman are a combined 87 years old. Yeah.
Is there anybody else that you guys have kind of thought about in terms of trades?
Like realistically,
Baines'
or
defensive rating is $111 this year.
Yeah, it's not great.
So
It's been rough.
That turns me off a little more in terms of the bench not sacrificing leads.
what is the average
Mhm.
rebounding though? I mean,
What's his rebounding percentage?
Okay,
100.
give me a
Wow.
bunch of stats.
All right. So while he's crunching
He's averaging
numbers,
6 boards a game.
oh wow, okay.
So
What's the percentage? I'm looking.
that's
it up.
not it's not good either way.
one that I saw floated around for a minute that made me laugh is Chris Paul. Bring Chris Paul back to the Clippers.
Okay, what are you sending out? I'm listening.
It's
is what I'm
so
saying.
much.
It's Patrick Beverly.
It has to start there.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't keep Pat.
They cannot
Mo.
play together.
Okay.
Well, no, but money wise,
No,
Chris
I
Paul's
just
making
mean,
like
no,
40
I know
million.
what
Yeah,
he's making.
yeah.
I just mean in terms
Oh,
of
that's right because it's like that next level.
it's
of,
the Chris
of
Paul
max.
max. It's the max that Chris Paul argued for himself
Himself,
because he was
yeah.
like, you know what, guys who played in the league this amount of years really should actually be able to get this max, and they're like, oh, that's the amount of years you've played in the league, and he's like,
what a
what?
coincidence. Yeah.
What the hell are you talking about?
So I think that those contracts are fine in that like a player who's put in that amount of service definitely like deserves to get a certain amount of money. I think at a certain amount, like 20 million of that should count to your cap, maybe. You know, like
Yeah.
if that.
Right.
And the other is what? Just
Because
free
otherwise
money?
you're like you're.
What is this, the
you're-
Andrew Yang of?
I'm just saying you're completely debilitating.
Every
the
team gets $20
Yeah,
million
for sure.
every
and
year.
it's going to end up hurting these players
Right.
later in their career because no one's going to want to do that for them.
Yeah, that's
and,
fair.
And you know,
Take
like
less
it'd be
money.
nice to see somebody stay in a place.
Also, I
yeah.
just realized Aaron Baines only spells his name with one A. I'm out on the
Yeah.
Aaron Baines trade.
You don't like the AA Ron Baines?
No, you gotta
no.
be AA Ron.
He should have an apostrophe.
Yeah.
It should be A apostrophe.
Aaron?
R, yeah.
Aaron
Aaron Baines.
So one name that keeps getting floated around the league as potential, and it's just rumor talk, that I would kind
Rumor
of
talk?
Yeah.
rumor talk.
Some scuttlebutts?
So this is we're entering the butt play segment of
Oh, whoa.
but no, like I would actually kind of look at it and see what it would take to get him because I'm a big fan. But Al Horford, a lot of people think that he's not really working out that well in Philly.
So I think we should try and go for Embiid.
Yeah.
That's my lunatic
no
idea.
way.
The
I
PG
know there's no way.
the PG for
But
Embiid
you
trade.
asked for our
PG for Embiid
That's
straight
fair. I
up.
did.
You asked for our crazy ideas, and it's
I
like,
did.
dude, I mean, things are weird in Philly with Embiid and Simmons right now. So yeah, totally show that the process was totally useless.
Right.
Trade Embiid, get some absurd haul. It would just be such a like. I would love the chaos of it.
Oh, the internet
I
would
don't know
melt.
what it would look like. I'm not even advocating we should do it, but from a chaos perspective, hell yeah, dude, let's make this work.
Well, the
somehow.
trade is PG for Embiid. That's the only one where you call Elton Brand and he's like,
Yeah, I'm listening.
Oh,
I mean, it needs to be a perfect fit for the Sixers.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
But then there's a Karl Anthony Towns idea. Justin Russo was tweeting
my
about
chaos trade is probably Zoo, Trez, Harkless.
that. Love it.
And,
Love it already.
And
I'm
you can have Magruder, Rome, take your picks for Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo.
For both of them.
Yes,
Wow.
you said crazy.
No,
This
I
is my
like it. I
chaos
like
trade.
it. I like it. My chaos trade was Horford, so now I feel like an idiot here.
What a dumbass, normal ass trade.
Are you just a big
I would love.
Mark
I wish,
Jackson fan?
I wish you would call Pat Riley
There
and
goes
pitch
that man.
that trade, so he could be like, first of all, who the
Horford.
hell is this? Who has the gall to pitch me this trade that I don't? How'd you get this number? You're like, William Updyke, sir.
No, I mean, I do love Horford, though. I think he's probably one of the most versatile guys at his size.
At his age, though,
I-
Then we
and
have
the
like
contract.
then we have an undersized.
and how many
center.
years does he like? Didn't he sign a 4-year deal?
yeah, it's a
Like,
pretty big contract.
Is it?
It's a long.
It's $20 million a year. I know that.
It's
more
a
than
lot.
just brutal.
It's a lot of money.
It's like 23, something like that.
No,
And
he got the max.
I'm
bro.
a
It's-
big Horford fan too, but it's
I don't know,
it's a
did he?
lot of money.
I think it's
for-
23 a year.
for
I just spelled
long
it
years.
OWL instead of Al because we were talking about Mark Jackson.
That's perfect.
But yeah, get him beat on the squad. See what happens.
Joseph, were there any other questions that we didn't cover?
Yeah, we had a couple. So, really, really big question here. Who is the cutest Clipper?
Oh, that's from Ryan Snelling, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, for sure. I said Lou.
You think Lou's the cutest?
Really?
Yeah.
On that
He's got
slam
that-
cover.
And
So
good
he's got that
lighting.
little scar on his like eyebrows. He's got kind of a bad boy take to it. So I could see that.
I no, it's Paul George.
Snelling
it's
says
easily
Terrence
Paul
Mann.
George.
I
I
think.
disagree.
Doesn't Snelling say Terrence
Those
Mann?
eyes are pools.
If we're talking eyes, we're going for my pick, which was Mo Harkless. I think Mo Harkless
Oh, yeah.
is an insanely handsome dude.
Mo Harkless is very good looking.
That's not the. That wasn't the question though.
And that's the episode.
That wasn't the question though.
What?
It was cute, not handsome. This is like that episode of The Office.
Paul George
then,
is-
then it's
Paul George-
Ivica Zubac. Ivica's the
Oof,
cutest
I don't know
Clipper.
about that.
Yeah, that's.
Paul George is the
Cute?
cutest. His like outfit game has fallen off since
He's got a
like,
cute smile. I'll give you that. He's got a cute smile.
He's got a cute smile, great
Rex
hair.
Kalamian. How about that? Rex Kalamian.
It's got to be Sam Cassell.
Yeah. No, but yeah, Ryan Selling has asked us this as well.
Did you address it?
Of course we
Oh,
did.
okay,
And I said
always.
Lou. And I think someone tweeted, they're like, oh yeah, I agree with that. And I was like, hey, I appreciate it.
I could see that. I could. Yeah,
I appreciate
Lou's-
hashtag.
I mean,
Lou
last year it was
cutest Clipper.
easy. It was Shea. I mean, it's
It was Shea.
Oh, it was Milos.
It's still Shea.
Again, everyone's wrong. It's Milos. Rex
Milos, yeah.
Kalamian, second
I miss
place.
him so much.
Man.
I miss him so much.
I miss him for like the.
could we sign him? Like, what's
He doesn't
why
wanna
not?
play
No,
for us.
no.
He
He was like
literally
last year.
said
He was
that.
like, "Get me the fuck back to Europe."
He
dude.
said, I couldn't find a better deal.
Yeah,
and so I was
yeah, when
happy
he
to
said,
sign with
yeah.
the Clippers.
Yeah.
And it was like, huh, okay.
I miss the commodity of Milos. Like you could smell the cigarettes on him through the television. Like I miss that
the
aspect.
passing
of
was
Milos.
so much
It
fun.
was
I loved
beautiful.
watching him
Yeah.
play. I loved it. I loved him on defense
Nothing
where he just
better
didn't give a
than
shit. It was the best.
Nothing
Okay,
better
okay,
than
hold
a
on.
13% success rate on full court underhand passes. nothing better. When it worked, it was great.
But like you're saying that for Milos, and then
You're
you
critical
want-
of Trez's passing.
or Lou Will, like the defense.
We're a
Like,
contender now. It's
Yeah.
different.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
it's
Definitely.
different.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
so this is the tear it all down, just make it fun again season. You
Yeah.
bring Milos back.
Yeah,
That's
what
fair.
if, let me float this out there. What if we give up?
What if we mail it in?
It'll be so much more fun.
Like-
Hold on, I'm not into that idea.
Why win a championship when you could just have fun?
yeah, exactly.
That's a good call.
Isn't that the real championship?
I'm calling Doc.
We should ask Doc more about how fun last year was,
And then
Oh,
Joseph,
yeah, I'm sure he'd
and
love
that
that.
how it equates to this year.
it looks like you had one more question in there.
Well, we got two more questions.
Okay,
there.
okay.
Did you
Go
guys
ahead,
ask
go ahead.
yourselves questions?
Because Ryan had a follow up. But really
Oh.
quick, you said Al Horford was making $20 million. It's 28, 27.5, 27, and 26.5.
28's a
Oh,
whole
it's
different
front
ballgame.
loaded.
Yeah, so it's
Gotcha.
front loaded, but still, that's a lot.
It's still a lot of money.
Brutal. Okay. well,
Then
then it is
Well,
the crazy
isn't he
trade.
three
I
years
win.
everybody.
Isn't he 32 right now?
he is. Sorry, I got away from it.
Oh man, I shouldn't have asked the
It's
question.
okay.
I'm
It's
sorry.
okay. It's okay. I'm going back.
What is his
stalling again.
birthday?
His birthday is June.
He's an Aquarius, right?
He's got to be an Aquarius.
June,
He's got such an
3rd,
Aquarius game.
1986. So he's almost 34.
right.
So he'll turn 34 around finals time this year. And so then
What a better way to celebrate than a championship with the Clippers?
Yeah, there you go.
And then he'll be 37 at the end of that contract.
That is a crazy idea.
Yeah. So I was totally on with the crazy trade
The crazy
idea.
trade.
Yeah, that's way better than Joel Embiid.
The disappointment in your eyes, dude.
So my question is, who is the cutest Clippers writer / coverer? Someone who covers the
Coverer.
team.
Okay, so
Coverer. I
cutest
don't know how to
coverer.
say
That's
this,
where we're
yeah.
going with this. I feel like
I'm going Greif. He's got a hot beard.
right?
Damn, that was
You
an
came in
automatic
quick.
answer.
Yeah. That was a loaded answer.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's been waiting the entire time
Yeah.
we've been doing this for this
I
question.
was like, well, now that someone asked it,
I've been,
now I
I've been
guess.
sweating, waiting to
Joseph
throw
is like,
this
well, my question is, who is the cutest Greif?
Andrew Grimes, you are, that's what we're talking about, right?
That's at Andrew Greif. Jovan's got to be out there, right? Jovan's a handsome young man.
He's a little young for me.
Oh,
For my handsomeness.
Don't make me creepy,
you
dude.
guys are reading so far into this. No, I'd probably go. Tomer's always got a great beard.
Yeah.
Seems like
yeah, that'd be my pick, I think.
probably mine.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Tomer.
Tamer.
Come here.
Oh, Tomer. Yeah. That's good.
I mean, Andrew Greif.
At Andrew Greif.
Jesus.
he can get it.
Where to-
So wait. But I've got a question. So if Jovan grew a beard, would
No,
you
he's still
be...
too like.
Also, to be fair, I'm not sure. I don't think he hasn't tried it yet. Which, as someone who can grow a beard, leads me to believe he cannot.
Let's not.
That's not a
Let's not
disrespectful
assume.
thing.
Let's not put him in a box.
You know
Yeah.
what? Let's
I'm going to.
issue
I
a
just
challenge
did.
right now. If
We're
Jovan's
not
listening, grow that
I'm
thing
sure he
out.
I'm sure, yeah.
Grow that thing
Grow
out.
the facial hair,
Can
you
we-
coward.
Yeah.
Oh, we should. Oh, never mind. We're going to talk about the Pat Bev press thing later, right?
We can.
All right, cool.
Do we have any more
I believe There's one
questions?
more question.
There's one more question.
If this is another cute question,
But
I
also,
gotta get out of
no,
here.
no.
He's the cutest person on a mic right
Yeah,
there.
exactly. No, you didn't give your cutest Clipper coverer.
I think I'll give it to Jovan. I'll give it. Jovan. Yeah, he's a good-looking dude. He's good enough for television. They get him on TV all the time.
That's fair.
Good enough.
Good enough for
Good
TV.
enough.
Damn.
I'm sure that's
Yeah.
Just
good
past that
enough.
bar.
he's good enough.
Yeah, he'll do.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, him and Donnie Mac really. Actually, I'm switching mine to Donnie Mac.
Oh,
I mean, with a name like Donnie Mac, how could you
yeah,
not?
exactly. Okay, so last question is who wins in a 2-on-2 pickup game between us and the Locked On guys?
You
I'm gonna
guys,
go- no,
you guys
I'm-
do because Will's terrible at basketball.
I'm trash.
Will's garbage.
Yeah.
I'm dog. I've played pickup with Joseph, and he's seen how dog shit I am.
You were fine.
Oh, then I'll say us because I think we could beat you guys.
I can play
then.
defense. I just
Yeah,
can't
you could
shoot
lock
to
him
save
up.
my
And
life.
I could shoot it out. I
Okay.
think we'd be fine.
Yeah,
we
then
have,
us.
We have more. We have a longer wingspan. I think
okay.
we'd beat you guys.
We do have a lot of.
Yeah, you guys are tall. You guys are both
Yeah.
really tall.
Come on, bro.
No, I don't even.
Come on, bro.
Are those your elbows? Oh, those are your hands.
sorry,
I thought
are your
you
hands-
were
are your
six.
hands
this is
extended,
this is
or-
great for audio format. Is us breaking down.
I did a
yeah.
come at me, bro.
I'm also left-handed, so I mean, you guys are totally thrown off your game there.
That
So
is
No.
true.
I think you're good.
I
For
think
me.
we win handily.
I
Okay.
don't think that's true.
I have no
Let's
confidence
settle
in
it, bro.
myself.
No problem.
All right.
Let's do it on the podcast.
Let's do it
just
right
leave
now.
the mics
So
running and
we're
go
gonna
out.
do it. All right, guys. So we came back and
We played to 4. We played to 4.
It took us 4 hours.
Yeah.
I smoked 3 cigarettes. Yeah.
So let's go. That's all the questions. You started to bring it up.
So we were talking about Jovan, and Jovan is getting a bunch of undue hate because of what the social media manager for The Athletic, who I believe is one person, which is insane
brutal,
for an establishment as large as The Athletic. But because of the quote-unquote chemistry article.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Pat Bev now hates the media because we also all could have stopped it, was something he told members of the press in the locker room before the game. He goes, you could have prevented this. And it was like, okay, dude, I host a daily Clippers podcast.
Yeah.
I am not.
I'm grabbing Jovan's hand
Yeah,
as he's
like,
about to
I'm
press
not-
publish. Jovan, no!
Yeah, like I'm not JP the Athletic. Like I can't
Totally.
stop. I can't stop this.
It was a weird scene. So we talked last week about the article and kind of came to Jovan's defense on that with the way Twitter has responded.
Right.
And his mentions are fucking crazy. People are just being
Yeah.
super disrespectful and shitty to him.
I'm
But-
unsubscribing from the Athletic. Which, if you say that, you don't subscribe.
Yeah, you
to The
definitely-
Great, you
Athletic.
already gave him your money. It's a
Yeah,
yearly
Yeah,
subscription.
That's the thing that you
dumbass.
do.
They already got
That's a threat you say. That we were talking about, like, dude, I have emails that I haven't unsubscribed from things that, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you're
it's
still
just
getting
like,
Citibank
yeah, like,
cash
I'm still
back
getting
rewards
Washington
emails.
Mutual emails. For all my financial crash joke heads out there,
It still hits.
yeah, but like, it's so unfair. It's a well-written article. Also, Sam Amick's not getting any heat. It's only Jovan, but maybe because we're only around.
Well, we see Jovan.
Yeah,
I'm sure Sam's on the
But
other
like,
side as
and
well.
it doesn't seem like any of the players read the article.
They clearly
No.
didn't, dude. So
I'm not
this-
saying if they clearly didn't, but
Right,
like,
okay.
it doesn't seem like anyone's like, because also, why would
No,
they?
no,
like,
yeah.
why would you read that article
Right.
and play for the Clippers?
Yeah, just the initial reaction seemed like no one had read
And
it.
it seemed like it
Totally.
had died down.
Yeah.
is my thing.
There
Yeah.
was an insane news cycle after that, and we were like, okay, like everybody's moved, like
Something's
whatever.
bigger. Yeah, but it's just
and
like,
so the team comes back from the road trip, and we're watching warm ups on the court, but go back because they're opening the locker room, and as Charles and I are waiting outside, Pat walks past, and as he walks past, walking into the locker room, he yells, "What was it? It was like only one
he goes,
All Star
"Only
from
one
the
All-Star
LA Clippers. That's bullshit." He
which
yells
is
that-
that's a good time.
Yeah.
I was on board with that.
totally, yeah.
That's
This
a
will be
good
fun,
time.
and so we
That's,
kind of
like,
walk
that's
in.
the fired up Pat that I like.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
kind of walk in being like, "Oh, this will be fun," and as we walk in, he just
The air is, as my girlfriend puts it, the air is angry.
yeah.
Where it's like someone's
Oh, you
quiet.
guys are really painting a vivid scene here. This is
Yeah,
a great
this is
audio
good.
medium.
like the
Yeah,
pain, like
So it was
he's
a Thursday
quiet, but
evening, and
the dew point was us. But like the air is just like
Was it
so
humid?
charged.
you could feel it. And so I checked with Miriam from
OC Register.
OC Register
Shout out Miriam.
Attaboy.
because
Shout out, Miriam.
she was there from the very beginning. She was there like as he walked in, and I guess the first thing he said was, "I wish none of y'all were in here." That was the first thing he said, and then he makes it public. I'm just letting everybody know that I'm not talking to media anymore until we win a chip. Y'all saw
Which is
somebody
fa-
getting beat up and didn't jump in. Y'all saw us getting beat up and didn't jump in. And at this point, we're in there, and I'm like, "What the fuck is he talking
Yeah.
about?" I
And
like,
also,
didn't
like,
know what he
dude,
was referring
I'm fine
to.
if you don't talk to us till we win a chip. That's a cool thing.
Yeah.
Like, also, I'm cool with that. If
Word.
That's how you're going to focus.
And then the follow up, which you said was, he was like,
you could have stopped.
"Yeah,
You could've
y'all
put a
reported
stop.
fake news in here. Y'all have a voice, and you could have stopped this article from coming out." It's like, how the fuck do you think this works, dude? But
Yeah.
Also,
and-
how's he going to use fake news?
Yeah, he needs
I
to
know.
calm. He needs to calm
That's
down
rough.
with that.
Yeah. But it was just a weird vibe. And then
And then we
after
go
the
out
game,
and get our dicks kicked in by the Kings. Like, that's what.
that's how
made
you
it-
respond to an article.
Yeah, you just go out and you just get washed.
It
Like,
And
only
he's
would've
the
been-
only one that keeps like continually bringing it up. It's like a "me think the lady doth protest too much" like situation.
dog.
I have
We're
a
the ones
theater
painting a
degree.
picture, huh?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I have a theater degree, and I thought that was way too much, bro. Yeah.
But yeah,
I
it was.
also have a theater degree, so shout out.
Jesus.
It was
Way
a bad
to
showing.
throw away money.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got a GED, so it was a bad showing
That's
afterwards,
a good,
right?
That's much smarter.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I was a genius, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
that's
a
what the G
genius.
stands for. and then after the game, he walks in and he makes it a whole thing.
A lot of people, I'm sure everyone listening to this podcast saw the interview.
Yeah, just the one word answers.
Fine,
and I don't know if
Get
everybody
used to
saw
that.
it. Yeah, as he walks away, he yells out, "Get used to that."
My favorite part of that whole thing is just Miriam putting her recorder away and going out of the scrum. It's so
she
funny.
flicked a cigarette off as he said.
Miriam being sassy in the background of that was just the
Totally.
best. Yeah.
And then we didn't stick around for we were in the locker room for like 2 seconds.
Right.
And then the Paul George and Kawhi tandem locker room or tandem press conference, and we came to record this, but like I didn't see anything from him post game. So it just sucks.
Well, it sucks because
it's absurdly over. It's so reactionary, and like I didn't even notice that point until you made it. That like he seems to be the one person who's like
He's the
being
one,
vocal about it.
perpetuating.
But
this
he also,
thing.
but to be fair, he's a main voice of the locker room,
right,
Mhm.
so he could be
speaking for
there's
everybody.
at least probably there's someone else who probably agrees. Well,
Well, no, Lou in
like,
same game. Somebody asked something about on the court, and he went, "I'm sick of all this chemistry talk." And the question wasn't even about chemistry, so it's
Yeah.
obviously in
it's
the
like
back
when
of their
Doc brought up
minds.
last year's team, where it was like, wait, what? Like
Yeah.
no one was talking about that.
But my thing with this is like, you're a team in LA with championship aspirations. If that article is going to rattle you guys this much, like that, it's like, come on, like, it's going to get worse. The more you get in the playoffs, the more articles are going to come out you don't like, the more you compete. Like, just fucking get over it. Move past it.
Have you ever like argued with your significant other in the morning and then you go to work and like you have no one to really
You
deal with
definitely
it?
have.
I have. Yeah.
Wow.
But like no, you
Name names, Joseph.
no. But like you get in an argument before you leave, and then you're pissed about it all day.
And then you go to work,
then you go to work, and you can't really be at work.
You
being
fire
like-
an underling because
Exactly.
we all have these jobs.
Yeah,
we're all very rich.
Yeah.
we're all investment.
Not
bankers.
everybody's
Seething in my corner office.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm looking out over the
Can't even
city.
appreciate
I
the
got
view.
my feet up,
Yeah.
looking at the
Hands
beach,
behind my
thinking,
back.
"God damn it! I can't believe she didn't put the dishes
Yeah.
away." No, but
Very traditional household you live in.
yeah, thank you. Don't do that, please. So no, but then you come home and it's like you haven't had anybody to deal with. This came out and then they left, and then they were just gone.
That's a
you
good
know what
point.
I mean?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
of course Pat Bev of all people, who I'm pretty sure I've heard reports talks to himself before games to psych himself up.
Yeah, he does.
He- Yeah.
Well, also everybody does that. I feel like that's
I do it in the
I
locker
don't.
room.
Yeah.
You got this, Brian. You
Yeah.
fucking got this
Definitely.
today.
Pat Bev watching highlights of himself, or not even highlights, but like breakdowns of himself
Yeah.
is
Amazing.
is
That's
so
great.
Yeah.
incredible.
So you take a guy like that and you take him away from everybody, other than Jovan.
And you're one who
probably.
was on the trip, which is
Exactly.
like, dude, that had
Brutal.
to have been
Yeah.
not tight.
Do you guys think that Jovan was at Magic City? Just a quick aside.
I do not.
Do we know that wasn't him dancing? That's my question.
Oh, whoa.
Oh wow, this took a very
Jesus.
bizarre.
I thought you were gonna say he
How
posted
heavy
the
you guys
video.
edit this
Yeah.
podcast. Jesus. Yeah, that was not Andrew Greif.
Anyway, so like he probably festered on it, and this was his first time
Yeah, he ruminated.
where he had everybody in the room,
Right.
where he could have been like, "All y'all motherfuckers,"
Yeah.
you know. I would have done the same thing probably.
I guess I'm. It's like, okay, I hope you get past it and you just go out and keep playing.
If it doesn't
basketball.
get brought up again, whatever, I don't care.
Totally.
I guess that's how I'm at. where
Totally.
I'm like,
But if this
never
becomes
comes
like
up again.
if this becomes an ongoing thing, then it's just ridiculous, is what it is.
Oh, if there is a championship one, he will be like, this will get brought up again.
I mean,
Even
Yeah.
our own people were writing this about
Yeah,
us,
yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of thing. And I'm going to be like, yeah, fine, whatever. we got the
He's gonna
championship.
find a printer somewhere, print out the article, and just put it
Yeah.
on everybody's chairs.
He's
at the
gonna
parade.
print out, he's
Yeah.
gonna make a hard copy of the Athletic,
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
like a newspaper.
Yeah.
runs it through a
He's
newspaper
gonna be
print.
holding it
Totally.
up like,
It also
Joey
is just
beats
so
Truman.
very much Pat. Like this year, to people who have been covering the team forever, he was like, "Y'all are gonna figure that out about us." Like talking about like
Yeah, there was,
their,
like,
like
two
not
people,
wanting to
yeah.
give up, and it's like, dude, we were here every game.
Yeah, we get it.
last
That's
year.
why we liked you yesterday.
What do
Like
you
last
want?
year. Yeah.
No, that's fair. So I mean, that's basically this week. We got what, 3 games? It was supposed to be 3 this week, but one obviously got postponed.
for sure.
We got 3 next week. I don't even know what the schedule is.
San Antonio,
Heat.
Miami, and then I think we go on the road.
Yeah, there's a long break.
Okay.
There's also the
Does that break
All-Star
go into the All Star?
I don't know. I just know that I'm out of town next week, which means there's a home game break.
We have
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we have a road trip. So go San Antonio, Miami this week, and then we're in Minnesota, Cleveland back to back, and then Philly and Boston before the All-Star break.
Oof.
So pretty
That's-
rough
That's
end of that
brutal
road trip.
going into the break.
We play-
tough.
don't we play Boston like twice in a span of like a week?
We
or
played
two?
them right after the break too. I think.
Yeah.
We play Philly
Or Philly is what I meant. Sorry, did I say Boston?
Philly's within it's in the same month because of the break, but we play them, and then like 6 games later we play them again.
Okay.
I do have one more question.
Yeah.
What's up?
Is this the window? So we're talking about Pat Bev and the championship and all. Is this year the window?
I think it's a
next year
2-year
too.
window.
It's a 2-year window.
It's this plus
We
one.
have to get to the Western Conference Finals this year for it not to be I don't want to
Absolute
say
shit show.
resounding disappointment,
a
but
catastrophic
a
failure.
swift
Yeah.
kick in the nuts.
Yeah,
Poke
but-
in the eye with a sharp stick, if you will.
The reason why I ask this is, do we really think that Giannis gives up another chance? So like, if Giannis doesn't get it this year, do we
Well,
really?
I was just like, that caught me in the curveball. We're talking about Giannis now?
No, but do we really
Did you say
think?
Andrew Greif?
Yeah, dude. So when Giannis grows a beard, do you really think he loses another game? No,
Dude, bearded Giannis?
Oh my god.
League fucked. Like, fully.
No, but to
Like,
be serious, like they've been a buzzsaw, right? They've been
Yeah.
a buzzsaw this year. So like, let's say they make it to the finals and they lose. Do you really think that this isn't like his Jordan, LeBron, whatever turn?
I mean, I think it gets to the
I think
finals.
I was gonna say they just didn't make the finals last year. So
Yeah.
I think he also loves Milwaukee.
No, I know. I'm
I think he
saying
stays, yeah.
I think that team keeps getting better. I think he keeps getting better. He's still
Oh.
ridiculously young.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Do we think
Oh,
that?
what their window is what you're
Yeah.
asking.
No, but what I'm saying is this Clipper team can win the championship this year. I think
Yes.
Right.
because Milwaukee doesn't have.
But you think
the-
Milwaukee's that much better next year that our
That's what I'm
window's a
saying.
little smaller?
If
Ooh,
they
I
get
don't know.
blooded in the playoffs this year, especially if they make it to the finals, I don't think he like gives up the reins of the league for like 5 years. Like him,
I don't know because
Luka,
our trade situation is too unpredictable. The way the front office
Yeah.
moves is that like if they're say we lost to the Bucks in the finals this
Mhm.
year, there would be something that happened trade wise in the next year.
Yeah,
that I
yeah,
think
yeah.
would put us over.
and
Okay.
there could be more improvements to be made. I do think
That's a
it
good
is-
call though, because man, it's going to be scary when they
Yeah.
because I
It's
do
stressful.
think he's getting better.
Yeah,
Like, oof.
he's getting better. I mean, but like look how long it took LeBron.
right.
right.
That's
but
fair, but
we're
I
getting
think this
there.
team's better than that Cleveland team he was
Yeah.
on. Way
Yeah.
better. Than
Oh,
that
I
Cleveland
mean,
team.
yeah.
You could put Jarrett Jack on this Bucks team, and they would still probably win.
That's
a
your guy of the
championship.
week,
Yeah.
huh, Jared?
Bro,
Jack?
he still plays for the Sioux Falls Sky Force.
He's
That
from
is pretty
Wyoming.
He
insane.
still does.
He's
Yeah.
from Wyoming. Shout out the West.
He's from Wyoming.
Yeah.
Damn, I wonder, man.
Or
Like,
I thought that's what it said on the sheet the other day. I don't know.
that'd be-
Sorry, any Jared Jack
I don't
fans
know
if
if
I'm,
that's
if
true,
I'm
but that'd be
messing up
sick.
this fact.
But my point to that is if the majority of this Clippers core is coming back next year, I think a year of continuity makes this team even better. So I think
Which we
that
haven't
window's
had, though.
but I think that window's still open.
The window
like,
is firmly 2 years, but yeah.
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 See, you like the Lakers are going to have cap space, and they have those two guys tied up, or they're going to have those two guys tied up. Like
But the
there are
free
still-
agency's not that good next summer.
Yeah,
I
it's
know, but
terrible.
you can still
Yeah.
they'll have a better bench than they do now, like in terms of
Maybe
you know.
don't they have a better net rating bench than we do?
bet net rating,
Yeah.
whatever. But I just think
am I wrong?
no, I know you're not wrong. I'm supremely confident. I don't think they
No,
match
I
up
am too.
well.
We're
Yeah.
2-0. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that, but
But I worry about if we don't do it this year. There's so many other teams that are like that close.
That are on the
Fair.
cusp.
yeah,
Because
that
Dallas will get better.
Dallas is
Yeah.
going to get better, and
Dallas is
Luka's a dynamo. Like he's like Luka, Giannis. Those guys are going to be like running.
It's
the
the
league.
There's only two
Torch
teams.
Yeah.
There's only two teams contending, quote unquote, right now that aren't going to get better next
But
year.
we also
right?
we also have
Houston
two top 10
and
guys.
Utah.
But we also have two top 10 guys.
Right.
One
Yeah.
of them the top one.
Right. I agree.
So
Both with injury histories and
yeah, but I think I don't know. I think the 2-year window.
okay.
I like us both years.
Same.
But I agree. If they don't at least make the Western Conference Finals this year,
Just-
if they're healthy,
Yeah,
I'm over it. I'm out.
you're out.
I'm out.
Next
I
season.
don't know if you're out. Yeah.
Whoa.
Next
I'm moving. I'm moving to
I'm
Seattle.
moving to
I'm moving to
Orlando.
Seattle.
I will be
Yeah.
taking. I will be taking my talents.
to Seattle. Yeah.
I mean, if we don't make a Western Conference final, next season would be so rough.
If we don't
The
make a
locker-
Western Conference
yeah.
final, you'd feel like an
You think there's
idiot paying
chemistry issues
30%
now?
more for season tickets.
You think there's chemistry issues now, or there's not chemistry issues now?
My biggest fear is us losing to Houston in like the second round.
We won't.
Yeah,
do
I don't
that.
see that happening
That's not going to happen.
at all. I have
That's
the confidence you have against the Lakers.
Second round.
The confidence you have against the Lakers is the confidence I have against Houston. I don't believe in Houston. I just don't.
I gotta agree with you.
I just don't believe in them.
I have no reason to believe in
I just
them
have
yet.
PTSD, I guess.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
I mean,
and that's fair.
fair.
That's totally fair. We had that with Memphis for a couple years. And
Oh God, I never want to
It
see
could
another
be,
Clipper
you know,
Memphis game.
they're
again.
the, what are they? Are they they're
7th right now?
Eighth seed.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see. Any thoughts on the games next week? It gets a little tougher, but just like this team tends to play down to competition, they play up to competition too.
I think we maybe lose the Spurs game.
Really?
I think we maybe win the Heat game.
Okay. Heat's going to be out for blood because they want vengeance.
Of course. Yeah, but
for
like you're
us
saying,
taking
we
that
play
one on
up.
court.
So.
Yeah. Spurs, I could see LaMarcus Aldridge giving us trouble. I'll give you that. We've played the Spurs already in San Antonio and beat them.
Yeah.
I think that's
We should win.
yeah. I
No,
think
for
I
sure.
think that's a
I'm not
Kawhi.
saying, like,
I think Kawhi likes competing against them because
Oh,
of his
yeah.
history there.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, who knows? Like I was saying, I wrote the pregame for today's tip off last night, and I had to tell Ryan when I was submitting the article, I was just like, I got to a point now where with this team, I stretch who fucking knows into 300 words every
Yeah,
time because like who
exactly.
knows
I
what you're
said
gonna get
before
out of
the
this team.
Kings game, I was like, all right, they're out there 1 and 2 rebounders. We could see a couple guys get double doubles for the Clippers.
I believe you said 4.
I said there could be 3
3.
because my pick was Trez, Zoo. It was going to be Kawhi,
Right.
Trez, and JaMychal or Zoo, and I was like, oh, of course, yeah, that's 3 guys who could get double doubles.
Mm-hmm.
That shit didn't happen.
Yeah, it just feels like a crapshoot. I'm done trying to predict.
Yeah, that's why I said lost to the Spurs. I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I think the Heat we're going to play well.
Oh, we also
And
didn't.
the Heat has all-star confidence now.
We
Yeah.
didn't take we didn't take a moment to recognize that tonight was the first return of the 420 Club.
Was it?
I believe so.
I don't think so.
Break down the 420 Club.
The 420 Club is when Lou Williams, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Montrezl Harrell all score 20 points.
Oh, okay.
That's blazing, bro.
I mean, I'm going to check it right now, but I'm pretty sure it didn't happen.
I didn't think it did either. I didn't think we had. I know that
would've
we had
talked about
4
it.
or 5 guys in double figures.
Who didn't
but-
make it?
I would have started smoking weed if we got into the 420 Club. So fucking stupid. Kawhi had 31. Paul George had 21. Lou Williams had 17. Trez had 16.
Damn, that's
Suck
my
it.
bad.
Looks like you joined the 420 Club. That's how I did.
Cool. Well, is there anything else you guys want to cover before we wrap this up?
Nope.
You want to plug anything? Where can the people find you?
You can find
Hashtag WDD.
Hashtag what that dick do. Shout out Precious Comedy. No, you can find we do a daily Clippers podcast Monday through Friday. Locked On Clippers. Find us on Deezer, French streaming app. You can find us on Spotify, more commonly used than Deezer.
iTunes, most commonly.
Yeah,
used.
I'm at Charles Mockler on Twitter. I don't tweet a bunch of Clippers stuff.
Right.
It's mostly from at Locked On Clips. Yeah, do you have a Twitter?
Yeah, it's at Will Updyke. I sometimes tweet, sometimes not.
And yes, subscribe and listen to their podcast. You guys do an awesome daily coverage, breaking down the games. Looking forward to all that.
We just try and not, fuck it up too bad.
Try not
Well,
to piss
you're
our
killing
pants
it.
every
You're
episode.
killing it and not fucking up too bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you guys for joining us this week. Be
for
sure
having
to subscribe, download, leave a 5-star review, all that good stuff.
And if you don't, Donald Sterling wins.
And that's a fact.